Well, it's that time of the week again.
It's podcast day.
Episode 7 of the TO SportsTalk podcast. I'm your host, James Price, along with Evan Brown. How's it going, bud?
It's going well. But before we want to...
before we get into the Leafs, Raptors, Jays, and all that stuff.
I just kind of wanted to give a quick, not shout out, just our condolences. If you have not heard, the Humboldt Broncos of the Saskatchewan, I think they're like a midget hockey team.
Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League.
Their bus got into a huge crash Friday afternoon. Our condolences. It's terrible. 15 have passed away. They're in their early 20s.
And some of them in their late teens.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So they have started a GoFundMe account. So we will post. We will put that.
We'll put that link in the description.
Yep. Donate anything you can, $1, $5, just anything to help out the cause. It's already raised over $4 million.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Oh, for sure. So again, our condolences. It's horrible situation that happened.
It's crazy because thinking about it.
They're like us.
We've been on buses before, and I know. For me, it was a coach bus, and being on the college baseball team, I understand 100% what they were doing. And I know
anything is that is a safe place you can talk to your buddies on a bus.
Right, and you could be just playing games. You could be just playing cards even, and then it's all over, and it's insane, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they collided into a semi. I don't know who was in the wrong. It doesn't matter though. It happened. Again. Our condolences to the hockey players' families, coaches, friends, whoever. Very, very sad.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. And like we said, the GoFundMe page is in the description.
And it already raised over $4 million. So if you can be a part of that, that'd be huge. And again, it's not sponsored at all. We're not sponsored by this hockey team. We're not sponsored by GoFundMe. No. We're just putting it out there right now for you guys.
Because it's a good cause.
100%. 100%. But anywho. On to more lighter things.
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Hey, you know what? The regular season has come and gone.
And we are facing the Boston Bruins. Now we're not going to get into this a whole lot because James is going to be doing a preview video tonight, Monday evening.
Yeah, it should be later tonight.
So, we're going to give our thoughts, our opinions, because you wanted Tampa, I wanted Boston. And
I didn't know who I wanted. With Tampa, you were facing a team that's not playing well. But however, the Boston Bruins have really not played well as of late. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10 compared to what they were.
9-1.
They were really, they were not the greatest, and they had games in hand over Tampa.
Yeah.
And it was just, they had a really good chance of getting that number 1 seed, but they didn't play well down the stretch. Now, ideally, the injuries with Riley Nash, Brendan Carlo, Rick Nash as well. So I don't know how serious these are. I don't know if they're going to be out for the playoffs or back for round 1 or not.
Now, the question at hand is that did Boston? I don't think they did.
Did they throw their game against Florida?
Why would they?
No,
they would either face us or New Jersey, and I would think that they would want to face the Devils over us. So I don't think they threw it in the game. But they did not look good against Florida.
It's not like they swept.
I watched the game.
It's not like they swept this the entire series or the season, and they're like, we own this team. Let's face them. The Leafs won the series 3-2.
And New Jersey's no walk in the park either.
No,
I understand that. But compared to us,
I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a rematch. And
revenge is going to be sweet.
Oh, you know what?
Since 2013, me and you, this is way before this channel even started, this podcast even started.
3 years.
We were in grade 12. We went down for Game 7, if you guys do not know the whole story.
Oh, God. If you don't know the whole story, I don't think you're Leaf fans. For one.
No. Our story when it comes
down
to
well,
down.
If you know the Game 7 story.
Game 7, we were down at Maple Leaf Square. May 13th, 2013. I still remember that date. Up 4-1, and we just blew it. So
it was so crazy because of the emotion, the oh my God, we're gonna make it past round 1 and beat the Bruins,
and then we were gonna face the Rangers.
We thought, we can beat the Rangers.
This is back when the Rangers weren't really anything special,
right? And then in a flash, it's gone.
Less than 10 minutes left.
The Leafs collapse. And
we don't. Yeah,
and then they go to overtime, and I think everybody had that feeling of what that was going to happen in overtime, just the way the game was going.
Yeah, and this has always been the Leafs' stigma over
blowing leads in
the last 10 years. Blowing leads. I remember, I think it was twice this year, we were up more than 3 or 4 goals going into the fourth period. Or
fourth period.
Third period, and we somehow blow it an OT or a shootout.
But you know what? Playoffs are a different beast. We always talked about that, and as much as we could have gone against Tampa, who knows? We could have beat them. And who knows about Boston? All I know for a fact is it is going to be a dogfight. It is going to be a grind. It's going to be one heck of a
7
series.
7 games for sure.
I can't see it going any less.
No. You can argue, and I think so. Just going, the matchups here. Boston has the better first line, guaranteed.
Yo, that line is nuts.
Marchand, Bergeron, and Pasternak.
That is insane.
Bergeron, how many points does this guy have? He has...
he had a great year. He
only played 64 games, 63 points.
Hey, that's...
30 goals, 33 assists. You cannot beat that.
And then you get Brad Marchand here with 85 points in only 68 games. Why? Stupid suspensions.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have a guy like David Pasternak, 82 games played, full season of play, 80 points. They're a point per game first line.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's nuts. And our first line, you got what? Matthews, Nylander, Hyman. That's pretty damn good himself. Yeah. But I would think their first line would be better. But
and the emergence of Jake DeBrusk, David Krejci, both guys 40 points plus.
What the Leafs have over the Bruins is they can roll 4 lines. Our second line's better than theirs. Our third line is way better than theirs with JVR, Connor Brown, and Tyler Bozak. And our fourth line has really stepped up. Even if you throw Komarov in there instead of Janssen.
That's fine by me, man.
You have Plekanec, Kapanen,
the thing with, you have speed. Yeah, with their fourth line, they're fast, though. With Boston's fourth line, they are quick.
What do you have, Schreller? Who else do you have?
We can't forget about Ryan Donato.
Ryan Donato, the rookie.
9 points in 12 games as a rookie. And Danton Heinen's quick.
Brian Gionta, too.
Tim Schaller as well. I mean, he's a very, very...
Tiny Tim.
Yeah, there
and
you
then
go.
You have Tommy Wingels, who has looked good with the Bruins. He was a trade deadline pickup for them. What I think Boston has, Brendan Carlos, that we already mentioned that.
Since he went down, they've kind of faltered a little bit.
A little bit, but bottom
line, it's going to be one heck of a series.
Even with Gardner and Riley having over 50 points this season, and the emergence of Ron Hainsey, and he's looked great.
Yeah.
I still think their defense in goaltending has been better this year. Even with Freddie Anderson, I still think Tuukka Rask. He's looked human in the last 5 or
he was great in the last game. He was great in the last game
against Florida.
Yeah. No, what? Freddie Anderson?
Oh, I thought.
No. I'm talking about Freddie Anderson against Montreal. He was great too on 33 shots. I mean, that's terrific.
Goaltending. Tuukka Rask has more than enough room to himself. You can argue Freddie has too, but goaltending, defense, Boston.
That's why it's so hard to choose in this league, because with hockey, it's like we say, playoffs are a different beast. You never know what you're going to see.
Exactly.
I mean, the Leafs could come out and kill the Bruins.
Or the Bruins can kill us.
You really don't know. And I think
look at Nashville and Chicago last year.
Game 1 on Thursday is going to be a nice test. The Leafs come out and staple a game and really hammer home that we're here to stay, or what? I don't know.
Because we're a speedier team than Boston, and I think our speed is going to hurt them in the long run. They have the better goaltending. They have the better defense. But our speed is killer. That fourth line with Plekanec, Janssen is off and on, but with Janssen, Plekanec, and Kapanen's probably blows past other teams' fourth lines. He's so fast. Of course.
I mean,
he is so fast.
His acceleration is nuts. His first
he shouldn't be on the fourth line, but he is.
So because of the crazy depth in this team.
Exactly.
I mean, it just... I don't know. What are your expectations?
It's going to go to 7 games. I really think we can get past the Bruins.
I think the Leafs in 7.
It's going to be tough. I think the Leafs in 7 as well. We don't have home ice, which is tough. It is tough.
Well, we didn't have home ice back in 2013 either, right? So
or last year.
So we're used to that kind of stuff.
I just want to get a playoff, because the last time we've won a playoff series was 2004. I want to get another playoff series win.
And to show the NHL that we're not just a one-round team, and we're not just going to be around, have a good regular season, they get knocked into the playoffs like Washington and guys like that.
Anything can happen. We're not going to get too in-depth on it, because you're doing
well, something I want to do, to keep the hockey field going here, is let's break down some series.
Sure.
Because, yes, we're Leaf fans, and we know what the Boston Bruins are going to be giving the Leafs.
100%.
But let's break down some series. So the first series I'm going to talk about is Philly and Pittsburgh. That's going to be one heck of a series.
Battle of Pennsylvania, and I do not like this match. Again, I don't like any matchup with the Penguins for any team, but with Philly, It's going to be tough. When was the last time that Philly had a better defense score than Pittsburgh? I don't remember the last time they did, but they do. They do this year. Yeah. I would take, even with Letang healthy, Dumoulin, Justin Schultz.
What about playoff Ryan Murray?
Crosby.
No, playoff Matt Murray.
And Philly's goaltending scares me.
I never.
Who do you start in game one for the Flyers? Do you start Elliott or Mrazek? Norver's hurt. I would think you would start with Brian Elliott.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get the start in game
one. But
Mrazek's
Mrazek's looked okay with the Flyers.
Yeah.
But Claude Giroux has had an amazing season, and no one's talking about it.
Well, that's the way Claude Giroux works, really. I mean, no one really talks about him. Period.
When was the last time Claude Giroux had a 30-goal season? I can't remember it.
It's been a while.
He's been always known as a playmaker.
Right.
With
and
Wayne
he had,
Simmons.
34 this year?
Yeah, that's the big thing, because Voracek was always a playmaker.
Right.
And then you had Simmons, that one sniper on the line, but Simmons is on the third line.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think that's gonna be a fun series.
It's gonna be a fun series. I don't think it's gonna go to 7. I think it's gonna go to 6.
You think Pittsburgh in 6?
Pittsburgh in 6.
I agree.
That is my opinion. Philly's gonna put up a fight, but they're still a young team. They have a very, very young defense core. Very extremely promising defense core.
But their goaltending.
Their goaltending is an issue, and their
lack of depth, goal scoring in my eyes.
Yeah, I do too.
They have the great first line and the great 1-2 punch with Simmons as well in the second line.
Simmons is on the third line, but
there you go. But even that, I don't know. I don't have Philly coming out of this.
If Philly to win this, it would be their amazing defense score with Provorov, Gossesbear, Samuel Morin. They got even Robert Haig, someone like that. They have a lot of good depth pieces, and Racco Gudas as well. They have a lot of good depth pieces that can potentially bring them past Pittsburgh. I can't see it happening though. Pittsburgh in 6.
Who knows? I mean, in the next series, Winnipeg, Minnesota. I got Winnipeg in 5.
Ryan Suter's
done for the year. It's over.
Well, he says he's day to day, so he's probably going to be.
He says he's day to day.
No, well, it's. Yeah, he does. And
look,
it's what, a broken fibula?
Look.
Zach Parise has not looked good this season.
No, he has. In Minnesota, I mean, they've been playing all right as of late, but Winnipeg has just been tearing it up all season long. They've been playing some great hockey all year, and with Connor Hellebuck the way he's played this season, now can he do it in the playoffs? We're going to have to wait and see. But I think Winnipeg's just going to barrel
Connor
over.
Hellebuck set the record for most wins by an American goalie.
That's great. I mean, he's well-deserved. 52-win team. I mean, my goodness. And he had 44 of those 52 wins. Now, you could arguably say, is he going to be tired for the playoffs? But I mean, I can't see it.
Ryan Suter, day-to-day fractured fibula. So
fibula.
You can see Ryan Suter playing through an injury if they go down 2-0 against Winnipeg.
But at that point, you're down 2-0 already, and
at this point for Ryan Suter, it doesn't matter. Throw him out there, and that's
if he can play,
which I think he will play through an injury. So
I still believe Winnipeg in 5.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's going to last too long.
I agree with that.
Hey, Minnesota's
the only thing that I can see them faltering out on is they haven't got a playoff win since the 90s.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it really matters.
Minnesota has always been there. They have a lot of playoff experience, but I agree with you. Winnipeg in 5. They are a scary, scary team.
Now, next up, Vegas and the Los Angeles Kings, and that's a weird series.
This is probably the team that Vegas did not want to face in the first round.
Of course not. You get the veteran team that's been there, done that for years.
They won 2 Stanley Cups.
And the Los Angeles Kings, and now you're facing a team who's never been there. Period. First year. And they're in the playoffs.
But then again, we counted out Vegas for the whole season. I did, you did, pretty much everyone did, and look at them. They made it. They're the second? They're facing the second wildcard team in the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is going to be a really tight game. I think it's going to be 7 for sure.
I think it's going to be 7. I think Ellie's going to pull over just because of the
veteran experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury has looked amazing this season, but it's Jonathan Quick you're facing. Drew Doughty's going to step it up. Jeff Carter's come back from injury.
Kopitar, the possible Hart Trophy winner.
Yeah, I can't see. I think the story for the Vegas Golden Knights is going to be ending this series. I don't think it's going to go into this. No, I don't think so. If I was Vegas, I would be kind of angry that you are facing. I would rather be facing Colorado than.
Because then you have Colorado, a team who's never been there either. So it's gonna. They should
you have back in Nathan McKinnon's rookie season, but I know what you mean. I mean,
I'll like Rantanen and guys like that. So then you get the Leafs in Boston, then Columbus and Washington.
I love this. I love this matchup for Washington.
Yeah,
because this series is not going to bring a lot of TV ratings,
and we've talked about this over the past couple podcasts about Washington not getting the recognition this year because of.
They didn't get anyone in free agency. They're not looked at as a President's Trophy winning team. The Leafs came above them in the standings, if you technically want to put it that way.
Yeah.
I love this match. I love this. I love this.
And
matchup
you told me that you have Washington as your dark horse team in the playoffs. Yep. And I mean, I agree because like we've said, there's nobody talking about them.
There's nobody talking about them.
Now, I mean, will it happen? Who
Holtby
knows?
struggled this year, and Sergei Bobrovsky, another great
but
season.
It's playoff Braden Holtby, so you never really know what you're going to get.
Who has home ice? No,
it's Washington has home ice. Yeah, they won the Metro. So
I love this matchup. I don't think I can ever take Columbus seriously in the playoffs with John Tortorella coaching behind the bench. I still don't think he's a serviceable coach. I never was a big fan of John Tortorella.
But you know what? If you're thinking from a Columbus standpoint, they're very happy on where they sit. They did not want to see Pittsburgh in round 1 again.
I don't think anybody did.
No. And Philly got the short end of the stick, but that's just going to be a dogfight.
And we're going to get into that in the next series with Tampa Bay and New Jersey. But going on to Columbus, Pierre-Luc Dubois.
He's had a very good season.
48 points in 82 games for a guy who wasn't supposed to go 3rd overall.
He's supposed to go, what, 5th? Something like that?
4th or 5th.
Yeah. And he went ahead of Jesse Puljujarvi, and we see why.
Exactly.
He's been great.
Artemi Panarin set the single season record for any Columbus Blue Jackets player in points.
Good for him.
He has 82 points in 81 games.
And a lot of people were, talking real garbage about that to start the year. Obviously, trading Brendan Saad, their guy, for Artemi Panarin, and we're like, and everyone's like, oh, what are they doing? Why are they making these trades? You don't need to make that move. Getting rid of Brendan Saad, you're kind of bringing the same type of player.
I like that trade for Columbus.
Well, we do now.
Well, no, I did back then because I don't care what anybody says. Brandon Saad is not as good as a player as Artemi Panarin, right? And I'm looking at their defense core. It's very underrated and scary. Zach Werenski, David Savard, Ryan Murray, Seth Jones, Jack Johnson has looked better this year. And then they pick up a guy like Ian Cole, who knows how to win. And
a defensive guy, Taylor Chorney, who came from Washington, he's a stay-at-home defenseman. He's not going to get you any points, but he's gonna stabilize that back end. It's gonna be a really good series, like every series is gonna be in the NHL this year.
I still think that Washington. I don't know if it's gonna go to 7. I think it's gonna go to 6.
I think Washington to 6.
I think Washington's gonna take care of business against.
I think it's gonna go 7.
You think it's gonna go 7?
I think the goaltending with Bobrovsky. And I think the defense core
with Columbus Blue Jackets.
I think it's going to be a really good thing, and you can't underestimate their offensive core.
Not at all.
Because their defense activates a lot, and they pinch quite a bit. So they remind me of the Nashville Predators. Not as good, obviously, with their pinching D, but I don't know.
But with someone like Jack Johnson on your third defensive pairing,
that's depth right there. Like it's terrific.
Now,
going to the series
next series is going to be a. Oh wait, do you want to get into?
No, we'll go to the next one on the list. There,
we got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New Jersey Devils. This is going to be my upset.
Yeah,
I feel like Tampa has not looked good in the last 10 games,
and the Devils have looked good, and
I think
they got the emotional ride going right now.
I honestly think they threw their game on Saturday night versus the Washington Capitals to not face Pittsburgh.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I don't blame them. Tampa has not looked good. Steven Stamkos is still injured. I don't know who else is. I don't know if they have.
It's mainly the only injury that the Lightning have. Adam Ernie.
Really, they haven't looked good. They haven't gelled.
And Vasilevsky's looked really human. He has not looked good.
He looked good in the last 2 games or so, but other than that, no, the whole team's looked human. So you're hearing this from me first.
Against Buffalo when they won, he was 5 goals on 32 shots. Not good at all.
They're playing him into the ground. You're hearing it from me first. I take the New Jersey Devils in 6.
Wow. I'm going to say
New Jersey has looked scary. Yeah. They have the offense. They have the defense.
I got to say New Jersey in 7.
You think New Jersey's going to get past Tampa as well?
I have that feeling because they're riding a red-hot goalie in Keith Kincaid.
And they have Corey Schneider, who's always looked good.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like both teams are in opposite directions right now. The Jersey Devils have played great hockey as of late.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay really has not. They're kind of been a 500 team over the last little while. Obviously, they were able to hang on to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, but Boston was right there, obviously, and Vasilevsky, I haven't bought into him yet. To start the year, he was great, and I was like, boy, this guy's a Vezina Trophy candidate. They can go all the way. But the way he's played over the last little while, I don't know.
No, and they don't have somebody. Let's just say that Vasilevsky struggles in his first 2 games.
They don't have a Ben Bishop behind him. Not
like New Jersey. New Jersey has, let's just say that's Schneider, because they're obviously going to start with him game 1. Struggles in the first game or so. You got Keith Kinkaid, who's looked amazing.
Do you start Corey Schneider?
Yes, you do.
He has not won a game in 10 straight. Do you play him in game 1 of the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Lightning?
I believe so.
Really?
They'd be stupid not to play Corey Schneider.
Well, Keith Kinkaid's the one that's been playing. He's the one that got them into the playoffs. No. 26-10 record.
I still think you should go with Schneider. And then, let's just say that Keith Kinkaid doesn't work out. You have Eddie Lack, who, I mean
over the years, he's been a serviceable backup.
Maybe it's more the name I'm thinking of than the actual, he's not looked good this season, but they have depth with goaltending, and Tampa doesn't. They have Peter Budaj, and they have Louis Domingue.
I mean, do you really trust those guys in a playoff game?
Because they're playing Domingue. They're playing Domingue.
Yeah, they played Domingue over Peter Budaj, but I don't know. I think Jersey in 7. That's my upset.
We talked about this last podcast, and we've been going off on New Jersey, but we could potentially see a New Jersey Devils, Toronto Maple Leafs second round.
Yeah,
and that's insane.
Well, if the Leafs
for 2 teams that are way past their rebuild, far from,
Yep.
I wasn't expecting New Jersey to make the playoffs.
Well, no one expected us last year to make the playoffs, and they did. So it's great to see New Jersey back in
and
the playoffs.
And then I think we have the most far-fetched series of them all. This is going to be a blowout in my opinion.
God, yeah. I got to say, Nashville versus Colorado, Nashville in 5. I don't think they're going to sweep them. I think Colorado might take 1 at home. I think it's going to be Nashville in 5.
Team, I think it's going to be 4. Colorado has looked good. Props for Colorado for coming dead last. A record season, bad season last year.
Yeah. Yep.
And they made the playoffs.
And
they beat St. Louis.
Both teams are going into the playoffs not playing the greatest. Nashville 5-4-1 in their last 10, and Colorado under 500.
Pecorino is going to win the Vezina this year. And
you know what? I don't know. I think they're going to win 1. But having Jonathan Bernier as your starting goaltender,
I gotta look at this.
I don't.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what it says here. It's expected to be Jonathan Bernier.
Varlamov is injured. Yeah, no. Honestly, this is gonna be a blowout in my opinion. Bernier, I didn't know that until we started recording this podcast.
I just saw this now.
He's starting.
I see it right here.
He's starting. He hasn't looked bad this season, but playoff Jonathan Bernier, I don't think that's
We've never seen it,
and I don't think I want to see it. He has,
I have this feeling they're going to win 1. I think they're going to win 1 in Colorado, but other than that, I think Nashville's just going to run right through them.
Props for Colorado for making it. McKinnon's looking.
But you're facing the Nashville Predators in round 1,
and you're starting Jonathan Bernier.
And it's not like the Leafs last year playing the Capitals, who are not a good playoff team. Nashville made it to the Cup Finals last year when no one expected it.
Yep.
So it's good. I don't know. It's going to be.
Pecorino having his unreal season.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good series.
They have a really good young group of forwards,
and they do.
But it's their defense core, which it's always been Tyson Barrie, Zadorov.
Yeah, they really
Patrick
don't.
Nemeth. I mean, really,
they don't look the greatest.
Eric Johnson I think is out for the season. It's undisclosed, so he may be back, but I can't see this game even them winning 1.
No, and then they go to the last series. The veteran NHL teams are into the playoffs.
It seems like both these teams are always in.
Yeah, San Jose and Anaheim. And a lot of people counted San Jose out, obviously, for letting Patrick Marleau go in the offseason and Martin Jones not playing the greatest to start the year. Everyone's thinking, well, this team's a wash. They're not any good. They're not going to make the playoffs. They make it. They make a divisional spot, and now they got to play the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim. Or Anaheim's got the home ice.
And I don't think San Jose's really fared well against Anaheim. I don't know that one time they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, they beat Anaheim in one of the series. I think Ducks in
7. That's my opinion on that.
It's always going to be a challenge for these two teams, but yeah, I agree.
Because there's no goalie big matchup with Gibson and Martin Jones. Both guys have very similar stats.
You could give the scoring to Anaheim, but it's not by much.
No, it really isn't.
Because San Jose has looked good this season.
Yeah.
With Bodker, Logan Couture.
And the problem is. Jumbo Joe is out for the playoffs.
And they have Evander Kane, too.
Jumbo Joe is out for the playoffs. He is doubtful to start playoffs.
What was this?
It's a right knee injury. It's a right knee injury. What is his stats for the year?
I don't think
36 points on 47 games. So he didn't play a lot.
Yeah, and he's looked good when he played. But they have Evander Kane who can obviously score goals, and he's looked very good with San Jose.
Yeah, he has. But then you go to the Anaheim Ducks, who are, you go to San Jose, who is just over 500 in their last 10. Right. The Ducks have won 5 straight, or 8-1-1 in their last 10.
They're going into the playoffs on a high.
They're playing very, very well heading into the playoffs. And the problem is they're going to be without Cam Fowler to start the playoffs. He's out 2 to 6 weeks.
But with that, and they got rid of Vatanen, so that's one more defenseman that's not there.
And the thing is, if John Gibson is not ready to go, Ryan Miller.
So I'll take that.
The depth goaltending.
Exactly. And Ryan Miller can perform. They do have, obviously, Corey Perry, Getzlaf, Kessler. But you have a guy like Jason Chimera, who they picked up. I don't know if it was on waivers.
That is a great pickup.
He's like, okay.
He's veteran, I know, and he hasn't played much at all, and his stats are not the greatest. But
what he did last year on the Islanders, maybe.
He is speed.
And he's a shot. He's got a really good shot, too.
He is. And I don't know. I think Anaheim in 7. I don't think...
I think Anaheim's going to... Yeah, you're right.
I think Anaheim in 7.
Well, those are our first-round playoff predictions.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Everything starts tomorrow. Well, no, Wednesday. We're so used to doing it on Tuesday.
Wednesday. I can't wait for that Battle of Pennsylvania series.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be obviously a fun one with the whole... I don't know if... has Philly ever won a playoff series against Pittsburgh? I think maybe one. I'm not too sure about that, but that's going to be one.
As for the Leafs, before we wrap this baby up, the Leafs and Bruins, Thursday, 7 p.m. puck drop in Boston at the TD Garden. Game 1! The round 1 playoffs. Oh boy, here we go. I'm pumped.
And we both have Toronto in 7, just for the record.
Yep, in 7. That's our plan there. So now we're going to move to the court, where the Raptors. We've seen a lot better things as of late, and I'm so happy to see. So we haven't talked in the podcast since the Raptors clinched the number 1 seed.
And they have.
And they did that a couple games ago. Yeah. Thank goodness.
We have 2 games left. We got Detroit
on the road, and then Miami on the road on Wednesday night. Those are your 2 matchups to end the season, and possibly a round 1 matchup in Miami.
Look at that.
That could be. I mean, you never know. All right, well, there we go. That's that side of it. But you know what? The Raptors, they have a chance of either playing Miami, Milwaukee, or Washington. And right now it's Washington. That scares me. That really does scare me. With John Wall and Bradley Beal, I understand the team itself has not been working the greatest over the last little while. They've lost 4 straight, and they're 2-8 in their last 10. They really haven't done well. But we all flash back to that series in, I think it was 2015, I think it was.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Where we got swept. Yeah, they don't have Paul Pierce. Gortat was a lot younger. I mean, they're not the same team they were then.
I think they had, but... Okay, Washington or Milwaukee?
Washington.
Really?
I have to say that.
They've not looked good. They've dropped.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 4 straight. They really have not looked good at all. And it's weird. Without John Wall in the lineup, they've been playing really well. And now he's hurt right now, sore knee. He's listed out Friday, so he should be ready for the playoffs, anything. But they just lost. Like, the way I'm talking about this team really in shambles, they just lost, where am I here? They just lost 103-97 to the Atlanta Hawks.
And
they lost to the Chicago Bulls.
Last place, Atlanta
They
Hawks.
Lost to Detroit.
Last place.
They lost to the Knicks. I mean, the teams they're losing to
why not go...
are teams they should be beating.
Exactly, so why not play a cold team in the...
Right. But the playoffs are a different beast, of course. But I think the Raptors... You got to remember, the Raptors are a very good team. They've won their last 3 games. They're starting to play a lot better. Yesterday was just a breath of fresh air for Raptor fans. Yeah. Seeing Norman Powell getting double digits. Seeing Jay Miles with 22 points and shot the 3 very well. Finally. And then you see OG with 21. He got the start.
As a rookie.
Hey, having those guys play like that down the stretch, that's exactly what you want to see. Yeah. Now, ideally, there's 2 games left, and you want to see them play well in that area.
But 2 teams you should win. Two teams you have to beat.
Right. For Detroit, I mean, they're a team that's out of the playoffs. They're not going to be. They're not fighting for anything. They've been playing well as of late, but it was too little, too late. The Raptors got to take care of business tonight. You'll probably see DeMar and Serge out of the lineup tonight for rest.
Right.
You saw Lowry and JV out yesterday, and it's on a back-to-back, so you'll probably see Lowry and Serge Ibaka sit today. That's my opinion, and then maybe play everybody on Wednesday against Miami to kind of get everyone back in the mix of things before the playoffs get going. But, hey, this team, the sky's the limit. Because we heard not too long ago, the Celtics, Kyrie Irving, out for the season.
That's horrible for Boston.
He's
a great player.
That could kill their chances of getting anywhere.
Now, this is kind of what I wanted to get into quickly, is that the King has been dethroned by the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, he hasn't. He hasn't.
But the only thing that they can say about the 76ers team is they don't have playoff experience. Now, they have everything else.
I agree, but I want to see Philly beat Cleveland on the road. Because the Raptors, they couldn't beat the Cleveland on the road. They beat them at home. They couldn't beat them on the road. And Philly had like a 20-point lead at the half against Cleveland, and it dwindled down to like 3 to end the game, or something like that.
And like you say, and like pretty much everyone says,
it's playoff LeBron.
Playoff LeBron is different.
You can never. Honestly, my personal opinion, I think I said it in the Cleveland when we lost to Cleveland in the last game. I said until somebody knocks Cleveland out of the playoffs before the NBA Finals, that's when you dethrone the Cavs. Right now, they're still the best team in the East until someone proves otherwise.
But I think that with Kyrie Irving out in our struggles against the King, it was on the road we faced Cleveland. I understand that.
But now we have home court. And this team, the Raptors have been so good at home.
I know.
They're tied with Houston for the best record in the in the league on the home court. And
what's Philly's season series against the Cavs?
I'm not too sure. All I know is that they've won 14 straight and they're ripping everybody a new one.
Yeah.
And
just with the talent they have around them, I feel like they're more dangerous than the Raptors with their matchup against Cleveland.
Well, now that Cleveland's 4th place, Raptor fans, we might have to see Cleveland round 2 if we get there.
Yeah, because who would Cleveland would face Indiana in the first round? And
I mean, I'm assuming Indiana would lose that, but you never really know.
We tore them a new one,
right? We tore Indiana up, but they've been playing some pretty good basketball for the last little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. All the teams in the Eastern Conference have been playing pretty well, except for Washington. It's weird. It's very weird. Every team is over 500 in their last 10, except for Washington, who's way down. So that, for Raptor fans, I think we're getting a little glimpse of who we're seeing in round 1, just because of the trend of how teams are playing. Yeah. And you look at Washington's remaining schedule here. You got Boston at Washington, and then you have Orlando to end the season.
I'm trying to find the series.
I'm just trying to rip through here.
Yep.
You know, we know what Washington's rest of their 2 games look like, and then you've got Milwaukee who plays Orlando, but then they play Philly in Philly to end the year. That's not. I don't even know what's going to happen there.
I can't see us not facing Washington.
And then Miami. And then Miami's got Oklahoma City and Toronto to end the season.
It's going to be interesting.
Right? So what if Washington wins one of those 2 games and then Miami loses both and then
I don't necessarily like, because look at what Washington did with Boston last year.
That's last year. They were a mid-team. They were 3rd, 4th place in the Eastern Conference.
I know.
This year they're barely hanging on to their 8th seed.
But they still have the same core like they have when they swept us. They have the same core.
Yeah.
They have the same core, and if it were up to me, I would want to face Miami over Washington.
Why is that?
Because with Miami, it's that... Wait, what are you trying to look for?
No, I'm just trying to find Washington here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, but the thing is about Miami is that you have not too strong of a team. They haven't really... But they have produced depth in the playoffs.
They have some depth.
No, they have depth. I understand that. But last year, they didn't even make the playoffs last year?
No.
So, I think, it was 2 years ago when we did face them. We looked good against them.
Well, we won in 7, but that was with Dwayne Wade being unbelievable.
I don't know. I just like the matchup against Miami better. Yes, you have Whiteside. Yes, you have Dragic, and you have D Wade.
Right, but then I look at Washington, and I see Bradley Beal and John Wall. Those 2 guys are freaks. They're nuts. They're fantastic players. Yeah. But who else they got? I mean, what?
Kelly Oubre.
What, Markieff Morris? Great, he's averaging 11.5 a game. Okay, is he going to kill you? I don't know. Then you look at Kelly Oubre, like you said. He's averaging 11.8. Great, that's nice.
You got Otto Porter.
Okay.
I don't know if he's coming off the bench. I'm probably.
Well, then you got Gortat, their big man in the middle, who's only averaging 8.5. JV's going to rip this guy a new one.
It's more...
The power of JV is going to tear this guy apart it happens, of course.
It's not more of the matchup. I think it's just... This was 2015.
I think it was 2015.
And the Raptors has always been that mentality about, okay, we lost against this team a couple years ago. That's still in our heads, just like the whole Cavs thing playing 9 games against us. That's why I do not want to face the Wizards in the first round, because you see the Raptors. I don't think they have that championship mentality kind of thing
as of yet.
We
haven't seen them in a deep playoff run.
Who knows? Maybe the Wizards might play mind games against the Raptors because they know, okay, we beat this team 3 years ago. We can do it again. Let's play tricks on them like the King has.
Now the big difference is no Paul Pierce. And you saw
he was tail end of his career.
You saw what he did against the Raptors in that playoff.
It wasn't points though with Paul Pierce.
It was the clutch shots. It was the clutch shots in the mind games.
Yeah, no.
Do they have that guy here who can knock down the clutch shots?
You saw Boston hated Kelly Oubre. He can do the same thing to the Raptors.
Can he do it in 7 games? He's there.
He did it against I didn't win against Boston, but he did it against Boston with the whole Kelly Olynyk thing.
With last year's,
they're more of a scrappy team.
Last year's Washington team, compared to this year's, is different. They're just not. John Wall hasn't been healthy, but the funny thing is, they've been better without John Wall.
How have they? Well,
they've been playing a lot better without John.
Did John Wall just get hurt?
Well, he did. And then he was hurt for a while and then they were crawling back into it because they weren't even in the playoffs earlier. And then they got back up to the 6th seed. We're like, this is more like Washington. Wall comes back, and they really don't play well after that. It's a very weird thing going on with the Wizards right now.
No, it is.
And as a Raptor fan, I guess in this case you want John Wall healthy. I don't know if you do. But Bradley Beal, averaging almost 23 points a game on very good shooting, he's been a very good player for that team.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
And you got Otto Porter, Marcus Morris.
I don't know who'd you got.
I just like the matchup against Miami better. I think we can both agree on we don't want the Bucks at all.
No.
But if it was me, I would want Miami over Washington. I don't know about you, but I would want that.
I want Washington for revenge as well because I know the Raptors can beat them. I know they can.
Because we proved we can beat Miami.
We lost to Washington back in 2015 or whatever year it was. I think it was 2015.
Still have the same core.
Do we?
Yeah.
Look at our bench. How different is that?
The bench, but I'm talking about the core. The bench is in the core.
We didn't have Serge Ibaka.
We still have DeMar and Kyle in JV.
And that's 3 guys on the entire team.
That's
3 guys.
I don't know.
Ibaka, OG, then the bench, which has been the MVP of this team, with DeLon Wright, Fred VanVleet, Siakam,
the core's your star players, right?
Look, okay, you can also say your core is Bradley Beal and John Wall.
And they have the same thing.
It's core. 2 guys, though. It's 2 guys.
But then what did they do last time? Other than Paul Pierce, who stepped up? Those 2 guys.
Right, but they had other guys. Gortat was a monster against the Raptors.
I understand.
But he's now aged to all heck. And then they have a bunch of guys who have not really proven anything in the playoffs yet. And they're not in a good mindset.
No.
For the Raptors, they have, first off, they've won 3 straight, which is great. Washington's lost 4 in a row. And they're barely hanging. Well, they're going to get 8 because they've already clinched, obviously. But the Raptors, I think, are a good enough team to go past Washington. We got to remember, this team came first. They have 58 wins. They're a really good team.
Yeah.
We can't think, we're the same team as the 2015 Raptors, and they're the same Washington Wizards of the 2015 season. They're totally different teams.
Raptors have a 2-1 season over Washington. So Washington won 1 game. Toronto's won 2 out of the 3.
Okay. Well, that's only, it's tough.
No,
it's not playoffs, but I understand that. I get that. But I personally believe the Raptors, no matter who they face, they're going to beat them. But if you're talking about an easier matchup, it's either Washington or Miami, give or take.
So you just said that the Raptors facing who? So the Bucks, the Wizards, or the Heat. You think that they can beat any 3 of those teams?
I think they can beat. Yeah, of course.
That's okay.
They can beat any 3. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to beat any 3. But I think they can do so for sure.
Raptors in the past, not last season, but the season before that.
And Miami just got blown out by the Knicks, by the way. They got blown out.
Yeah.
But I look at them, and Dragic has had a fairly good season.
Well, Dragic would be on
Wayne
Kyle
Ellington
Lowry.
is a guy that scares me because his 3-point shooting is nuts.
Yeah.
That's something the Raptors lack. Tyler Johnson's been a great player off their bench. And then you look at Dwayne Wade. He's obviously Dwayne Wade. He'll do what he does in the playoffs when it comes to that. And Ben Adebayo, who as much as he's averaging 6.9 points a game, that guy reminds me of Pascal Siakam. He works hard. Yeah. He is a hard player to play against. Then you go James Johnson. We all know what he's done since he's gone to Miami.
Yeah.
He's been terrific. And then, of course, you can't forget Hassan Whiteside on the inside, and Kelly Olynyk and Justice Winslow.
Who would dominate JV on the inside.
They don't have that one guy that stands out as their guy. Giannis Antetokounmpo is for the Bucks. Bradley Beal and John Wall, they are for the Wizards. But
Miami, it's more.
They don't have that one guy.
Well, I don't think necessarily we have that one guy. You can argue DeMar.
Right, but we have everything that works.
But see, that's us as Raptor fans saying that. If you look at, I know, but if you look at, people around the league talking about the Raptors.
They always talk garbage about the Raptors.
Yeah,
they always talk DeMar and Kyle. So,
yeah,
that's why I'm looking at Miami and I'm like, they have a lot of guys that are averaging over 10 points a game. They don't have a single, unless Hassan Whiteside is averaging over 20 a game, which I don't I don't think he is. No, he's only averaging 14, but he's averaging 11.5 rebounds, and...
I just look at what Washington did last year in the playoffs. They only made it to the second round, but they were a tough team to play against. The Raptors aren't necessarily looked as a scrappy team at all.
I think no matter who the Raptors play, they're going to get past them.
Okay.
It's just a matter of how easy the test is going to be. We all know... Oh, excuse me. We all know the
hopefully
Raptors...
we don't sound like a broken record here, because we always say this about the Raptors. We always say they should be this team. They should be this team in the playoffs.
Yep.
It happens sometimes, but other times it doesn't. Teams that the Raptors should beat in the playoffs doesn't happen.
And I think the big thing to look to when it comes to Raptor fans is, can the Raptors finally win a Game 1? They'd be at home. The best record on home court in the NBA, tied with Houston.
They've never won a Game 1.
I don't think they've ever won a Game 1 of a series.
Last year,
no, they never did.
Okay, so
they never did.
I'm just thinking. Okay, so last year we faced the Bucks. We didn't win that one.
No, we didn't.
Pacers.
No.
Wizards, obviously not. And then Brooklyn, no.
Right. And then Cleveland, obviously no.
We didn't face Cleveland in the first round. I'm talking about Game 1.
I'm talking about playoffs in general.
Playoffs in general. Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about
round No. Just in general, the playoffs, and this just the Raptors
not good.
Not.
That's not good because you want momentum
can they
on
get
your
over
side.
I think you know what. I think if they do win Game 1 against whoever they play, people are going to be quiet.
I do too, and I think that the Raptors need that Game 1 win under their belt in any round.
Because if they lose Game 1, everyone's going to start talking,
and then that's going to go to the Raptors' heads. They say it doesn't. You know it does.
And I think the X factor for this team is CJ Miles.
But see what? Yeah.
Because having a guy like that to shoot threes off the bench, like Wayne Ellington does for the Miami Heat, if you can have CJ Miles, I'm not saying he's going to fire up 22 points like he did yesterday, but if he can give you 15, shoot a great percentage, then I'm not going to complain. You need
Why
that.
Would you?
The bench has been great otherwise. DeLon Wright, Van Vliet. I mean, he left the game.
We talk about the bench the whole season. We talked about the bench all the season, but is this necessarily? Yes, it's a good thing. Just off the top of your head that the Raptors do come first, but is it really a good thing? The spotlight is on them. Can they shine in the spotlight? No.
We have to wait and see.
Okay, they haven't.
Look, they haven't done anything as the 2 seed. Bottom line. They have not gone anywhere. I mean, they went to Cleveland in the conference finals 1 year, but that's because the Eastern Conference was trash.
But they haven't done anything when the spotlight was under them. They haven't shined at all.
Now we're going to have to wait and see. What do you mean? Like in the regular season, you mean?
Anytime. Or regular season playoffs. Anytime the Raptors have said, Raptors that came second. The Raptors are facing, the lonely Miami Bucks. Or Miami Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks. Have they really... yes, they beat them, but really?
They won in 6.
There was a couple games that are a little bit... Are you kidding me? Blowouts?
Right. But that was, this season, again, that was last year. Look how bad the bench was last year. You had Patrick Patterson on the bench. That guy couldn't shoot a thing for his life.
And Carroll. I understand that.
Right. And this team is totally different than last year's team. That's what we've talked about all year.
Even this team during the regular season. I'm not doubting them at all. I'm not doubting the Raptors at all, but I'm questioning them. I'm questioning them
58-22 record, and you're questioning them.
When the spotlight's underneath them, yeah, I do.
We haven't seen it, so why are we...
During the regular season against the King, the spotlight was on us. What happened?
Both times against Houston, you beat them both times. You smashed Cleveland at home. You smashed Boston twice at home.
But I'm saying on the road.
Well, you have home court, though. You play 4 of the 7 at home. So if it goes to 7, you're always at home. So...
But, like you say, until the King has been dethroned, I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. If we're talking round 1, it's a mathematical. I think the Raptors will get through. It's just a matter of how they do.
I think so,
is it going to be a grind it out and you get through in 7, or do you take care of business? And you take them out in 5, maybe 6, depending on who you're facing and how they play.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight.
It is.
And I'm not saying they're going to sweep anybody, because it's not going to happen.
Because only a superstar team can...
And even then, you got to go on the road for at least a couple games.
Yeah.
So it's
playoff basketball on the road is hard.
Of course, no matter what team you're playing, everybody hops on the bandwagon.
Exactly.
And for Wizard fans, I mean, they're probably like, we're not going to go anywhere. We're playing like garbage. We're going to play the number 1 Toronto Raptors. It's over. We're done.
And going into the playoffs on
the Verizon Center in Washington is going to be full of people. They're going to be hyped for the playoffs, no matter if they're down 2-0 or not. They're going to be pumped, and it's going to... Well, I'm saying that we're facing Washington. No matter what team you're going to face, it's going to be a hostile environment.
Exactly.
It's the playoffs.
We just don't want to see... I'd rather Miami or Washington. I don't want to see Milwaukee at all. Me neither.
I do not want to see them.
I think we can both agree on that.
They got Orlando and Philly to end the season.
And then
that's that.
You got the Cavs facing who?
Indiana.
So if Indiana can somehow maybe contain the King,
I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year in the playoffs because you don't have like last year it was like 1, 2, 3. You had Raptors, Cleveland, and Boston. And then you had the Wizards who were there. But then other than that, down below, you're like they're barely over 500.
Now, would you rest star players against the Pistons?
Yes. Well, so my thought process, I don't know if
because it doesn't change at all if the Raptors were going to lose these next 2 games.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
So there you go.
But my thought is that DeRozan and Serge are going to sit today because Kyle and JV said, or excuse me, other way around. I think Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka are going to sit today because you saw DeRozan and JV sit out yesterday. And then my feeling is that you're going to have both guys, or everybody, back in the lineup, if healthy, of course, back in the lineup to face Miami to end the season. So then everyone's kind of got some mojo heading into the playoffs. I don't know if that's Dwayne Casey's thought. I don't know if, I don't know. I have no clue what Dwayne Casey's thinking. No. Also, the Raptors win their next 2 games. They're a 60-win team.
So that's kind of motivation, but you don't want...
It really doesn't mean anything.
So, and that wouldn't that be... horrible, knock on wood, if the Raptors do not rest any of their starters to get that 60-win team and something does happen, knock on wood. That's
the thought,
rest them. It's not a big deal if you don't get 60 wins. It's not the end of the world. Yes, it'd be nice to go on a winning streak into the playoffs, but it's not the end of the world if you don't.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to say here. Because last podcast we were talking about clinching first place.
Yeah.
We have done that.
Yep.
So now it's just a matter of time. Who are we going to face? Look at the tapes about the team who we are going to face, and just get ready for it. And get that first win on your game 1 under your belt.
I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah,
that's going to show a lot of people what this team's all about. They can take care of business at home in game 1 of the series, no matter
actually
who
good
they
stat.
face.
Yeah, has the Raptors ever won a game 1?
I don't think so.
Series?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I know that's been the talk over the last little while that they haven't.
Because in 2014 we lost.
Not even that. We're going back. I'm going back to the when we played Orlando.
Oh, in 2008.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't win that game either. So
we were always on the road back, even back then, for game 1 and 2.
What I'm saying is that I don't know. I think this team, if they win game 1, that'll show a lot to the NBA.
Yeah, but if they don't, that's going to be tough.
Yeah,
because they've shown struggles against not winning game 1 in previous years.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Wait. We can't wait. Both of us can't wait for Jurassic Park Square too, guys. If you want to come down, add us, DM us, whatever you want
on Twitter, down in the description, guys. Go check that out. So that's gonna wrap it up for the basketball. I mean, there's really not much else to talk about. The Raptors,
regular season has not finished yet. 2 more games, so not too much to talk about.
We're gonna hit the ballpark. The Blue Jays, we talked about it in the last podcast, so they had a pretty good start. They had won a couple games. They split the series against the Yankees, and we're like, we're optimistic, but we're like, okay, that's very interesting. And the Jays, since then, have won 2 series. They beat Texas 2-1, and they beat the White Sox 2-1. And they're now 6-4 in their last 10 games, 6-4 to start the year. Is there should there be any hype?
Well,
should there be any
in 10 games we're above the Yankees, so I mean
they're 5-5.
We're 6-4, and Boston's 8-1. Ooh.
I gotta talk about that real quick. Way to thank you for kind of setting that up right there.
No problem. Oh yeah,
the Boston Red Sox, and I got an update saying, the Boston Red Sox off to that historic start, and we're like, oh, what? Well, they're 8-1. Wow, this is incredible. They played 2 rebuilding teams.
Tampa Bay.
They played the Tampa Bay Rays, who traded Longoria. They traded Jake Odorizzi. Alex Cobb's not on the team.
Archer, and that's it, pretty much.
That's really it.
And then they played.
And then they played the Miami Marlins, and we already know what that's all about.
Stanton's gone.
Yelich is gone. Osuna's gone. D. Gordon's gone.
Yeah.
If there's any more that I'm missing, please let me know. They great. They beat them both times.
Take that into perspective.
And then they played Tampa again.
Tampa Bay is 1-8.
Right, because they've played Boston so many times.
And the Miami is 3-. I don't know why Boston's facing Tampa Bay in 2
Well, it's just the way the schedule is, but I'm just hating how they're saying, oh, Boston is right there in the power rankings. They're kicking everyone's rear. They're playing some great baseball.
But see, the reason why they're saying that is because Boston, even on paper, they looked as a strong team.
Yes. But the Yankees are 5-5, but they've played some some good teams. Baltimore really, really grinded them hard, and the Blue Jays have played them well as well.
Yeah, they lost against them in 12 innings.
Right. 8-7 and 12.
They're going to come back down to earth.
Yes.
Meaning that
because, hey, you know what? Watch this. The Yankees play the Red Sox now. So now you're not playing some scrubby team. You're not playing the Atlanta Braves. You're not playing the Miami Marlins or the Tampa Bay Rays in stupid Tropicana Field. You're not playing in any of that. They have the day off today. Then they start that series. They start that series on what was that, Wednesday? No, Tuesday.
Okay, so do you think the Blue Jays have fallen back down to earth, or are you expecting them to keep the same, 6-4, 7-4, maybe 8-5 record? Is this where you expected? Don't worry about the Yankees.
Did I expect this? Not at all. Not at all. For Jays fans, look, we knew the rotation.
What were you expecting? Record-wise.
Well, we knew it last April was. We know this team usually gets off the slow start, so we're like, I'm probably going to say, 4-6, 3-7, just because of their starts before.
Mm-hmm. Because
they've been playing some really good baseball as of the last little while.
Because we are in a weakish division. It's only been 10 games, but we are in a weakish division when it comes to records now.
Right. For right now, yes. But Boston's 8-1. The Yankees, they'll come back up. The Rays, they're going to be dead last, and Baltimore's probably not going to be not far behind them. But I don't know. I have no clue what the East is going to...
Can we talk about Randall Grichuk? Or do you want to save that for later?
We'll save that because I know one of the guys on the on the Twitter sent us a message and
we're going to get to the questions.
Yeah, so we'll get to that later. So, okay. But for the Blue Jays, again, like I've said constantly in my videos,
right?
You got to take it game by game, series by series. And look, I know Jays fans are like, they're only 6-4. They could have had some other wins, but they didn't.
What were you expecting from this team?
You split a series, split a 4-game set after losing the first 2 to the Yankees to start the season. No one expected that.
No one expected
that. Then you win the series against the White Sox, and you win the series against Texas.
That's more than enough. But
that's a great start to the season.
Those are teams you should beat in Texas and in the White Sox too.
But they do.
Coming back from 0-2 from the Yankees, that just shows fight in.
Well, yeah, and they came back in both of those games too. Or no, one of the games I think they got way out in front, but one of the games they did come back late. Sonny Gray was just lighting up the Jays that game.
Was it game 2 where we almost blew that lead against Texas?
Well, they almost blew one last night too, but no, game 1 they almost blew. Game 1, bottom line, both our wins against Texas. Texas gave a little run at the end, but the Jays just had that big lead. And I got to talk about something. I'll get to that in a little bit here, but the Jays do their job. Mm-hmm. They split the series against the Yankees. We would have loved a series win, but you know what? You're playing the Yankees. They're a great team. Whatever. I'll take a split. You beat the White Sox, your team you should beat. An up-and-coming young team that look a lot better than they did a couple of years ago and even last year. And then the Texas Rangers, who are a down-to-garbage team, and the Jays take care of business in Texas.
Yeah, right.
Now they start off a series against the Baltimore Orioles starting tonight at 7:07.
It's Baltimore. You're going to have a dogfight.
Yeah, well, Jays in Baltimore, we always have history with them, except Bautista's not playing. But the one thing I want to talk about, the Texas Rangers. And Rougned Odor. This guy, I'm sorry. Look, Marcus Stroman's on the mound pitching to the guy.
Yeah.
And Marcus Stroman has a high leg kick, and he does his thing usually. Fine.
Right.
And when you're at bat, usually take a little step to kind of get you some power. You lock and load, and you my goodness, smack the mic and everything. But
calm down,
you lock and load, and you do your little step. Rougned Odor does the Marcus Stroman. He kicks his leg up while in the batter's box while Stroman's about to pitch. Stroman throws a ball. Then he decides to grab his junk. And he does that every pitch, that at bat.
But this isn't new. But this isn't. Yeah.
Why? Bautista's not around. That was the whole spiel with Jose.
It's just the whole Jays thing too. He doesn't really.
There's no fans in the ballpark, so it's not like it's a hostile atmosphere right now
in Texas.
It's
always going to be that stigma about the Jays in Texas.
No, it's always going to be Rougned Odor. and the Blue Jays, I guess. I thought it was just Rougned and Jose. Now Jose's gone, well, back to normal. But no, Odor's up to his childish antics.
Yeah.
It's useless. It's stupid.
It just shows the maturity.
Lack of, I guess.
Lack of maturity with Odor, and this isn't new. This isn't new with kind of like that pitcher on Kansas. Who was that again?
Is it either Ventura? Who's
not the guy. Yeah. Not
Edison Volquez. When he's not. I don't even know where he is now.
Yeah.
He was on Miami.
Volquez, kind of the same thing deal, right? It's not going to be about the Bautista thing. It is, but it's more about the Jays, and it's that stigma, and it's always going to last for really
right, but Jose's not even on the team anymore.
The Blue Jays, not Jose itself, just the Blue Jays.
Well, we all thought
we
always thought Jose was the only problem. I guess not, or just
Stroman now.
But you never saw just because Stroman's a little emotional. Whatever.
He shows emotion.
Was Odor grabbing his junk in the first game and the third game? No, because they were losing.
Yeah.
He's a cocky little rat.
I mean, maybe his jock was a little bit...
Oh, boy, it was loose the entire at bat then.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't even understand. He
just
really gets under my skin. And the Jays play them again at the end of the month at the Rogers Center. I'll be at one of those games.
Oh, perfect.
For sure. But, hey, look, Jays fans, let's be optimistic. 6-4 record. Look, it's nice. And it's a good start to the year.
But the Yankees are going to pass us. On paper. We don't know, but we have a feeling they will. But if they don't, great.
And I got to, real quick, I know this happened probably...
We're going to be facing them on a wild card.
That'd be an interesting one, eh?
Yep.
But the Yankees and their fans... Giancarlo Stanton goes 0-for-5 with I think it was 5 strikeouts. And they boo him. Why?
Big difference from when he hit that home run on the first pitch against us.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was at the Rogers Center, but I mean, yeah, everyone's like, Yankee fans are like, we got Giancarlo Stanton, NL MVP, and
we have respect for Yankee fans. We get that, but
there's no need to boo this guy. He had one bad game,
especially when you're in a new system. I'm on a new brand.
He's always been with Miami. Now he's
always been in the NL,
right? And now he's going over to the tough American League East, and he struggled in one game. Are you really going to throw him under the bus and start booing him?
I don't think we've ever did that.
That's sad. We boo guys when they're god awful for quite a while, not have one bad game.
Like Stanton. I don't know if he's liking the whole New York atmosphere a little too much.
It's a lot of spotlight for him. I mean, he was with Miami, and oh boy, I just looked at this actually. Oh my, okay. So Yankee fans, maybe okay. I talked about this yesterday against Baltimore. It was like we said, Baltimore won 8-7 in 12 innings.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton was 0-for-7 with 5 strikeouts.
That's not good.
He's hitting 167, and he has 3 home runs. 2 of those were against the Jays.
If he is having a horrendous game, maybe he needs that. Maybe Yankee fans, because New York is always a tough in any sport. Knicks, Giants, Yankees, Rangers. Always tough atmosphere to play because it's the center of the world. New York City.
Yeah.
You can't get bigger than that, right? But maybe he needs this, and maybe the Yankee fans do need to call him out to get his hype a little bit. So I'm not completely against what the Yankee fans did to him and booing him.
Right. If he did, they booed him yesterday. I understand. 0-for-7 with 5 strikeouts. That's
it's
really
bad.
bad.
No, it's bad. It's bad because look at Grichuk.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get to him in a little bit here, but we all know what his story is on the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
But
I'm not that offended what Yankee fans did to him.
No, but
because those numbers, I didn't know it was that bad.
That was yesterday, but this was earlier in the season. This was first or second home game of the year, and he did that. That's where I'm like, come on, guys. Yeah. But now, okay, fine. 0-for-7 with 5 strikeouts.
He's gonna find his swing.
He'll get that home run swing, and he's playing in Yankee Stadium. That guy'll hit a fly ball, and it'll go 3 rows back. I mean, it's how strong that man is.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up the Blue Jays,
because there's not a whole lot of talk about.
Because I break the games down, and really, what else are we going to talk about?
And there's no news, there's no trades, really.
Right.
Maybe.
Look, we look for a series win against the Orioles, and then the Jays have a day off, and they're in Cleveland.
Cleveland does not look good.
They really have not had a good start to the season so far. They're 4-5 on the season, and the Jays come back home to face Kansas City,
which is always a.
They should beat Kansas City. Kansas City, I think, have they won a game yet? They're 2-5. They were 0-something to start the year, but
I just can't wait until we face the Rays or any scrub teams like that, so we can actually get a
Well, maybe the Jays always have a tough time against the Rays, so it's just you got to take it game by game. Yeah. Tonight, J. Happ, Dylan Bundy, the only good starter for the Baltimore Orioles. You're facing him tonight against J. Happ in Baltimore. So now we're going to move to the questions.
Roderick B. Do you think this streak of good baseball from the Blue Jays is just temporary, or do you think it will go all season long?
It's so early to tell, but I mean what we've seen so far is very promising from this team. I mean they're showing a lot of fight. They're winning series.
Who was expecting us to be past the Yankees at this start of the season?
No one. But I mean it's so early to tell.
And your prediction still staying with mine about the whole wild card? I think the wild card.
Yeah, I think the wild card is the realistic goal for the Jays this year. I mean, will it happen? Well, we're just gonna have to play it game by game and see how it goes. But as for do I think they can sustain it?
Only time will tell, but how they're playing right now, yeah, I think they can.
It's just it's gonna take time to really see and to really hone in on what this team can do.
Because you know the Yankees are gonna bounce back. You know that for a fact, and I think we could sustain, a solid lead.
Yeah,
over Baltimore and the Rays.
Oh yeah, I think those two guys are going to be down in the dumps all year long. But because Baltimore can't pitch and Tampa's on a rebuild, so there you go. So I just I don't believe in those two teams. But
so
I think I think the Jays can get a wild card spot. I think it is possibly sustainable, but you never really. It's 10 games out of 162.
Exactly.
It's so early to tell. Thank you, Roderick, for your question, bud.
Second question, Lucas Souza. What do you think about Toronto franchises, fan bases around the world? For example, I'm from Brazil, and Raptors have a lot of fans here. Good question. It's mainly dominated by the Leafs because the Leafs have been around since the 1920s. They've been around for over 100 years. Haven't had much success. The Raptors have been around since 1995. They have done nothing.
Right.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals once, and that was last year, and they got swept.
Right.
So I think, yes, fan recognition's not there yet because the Raptors have not necessarily done anything, but we do have the fan base.
I believe so.
Same thing with the Jays, because after 1993...
22 years of no playoffs for the Blue Jays, and they had no fans. They were barely getting 20,000 fans.
It was a dark day.
It was a really boring time to be a Jays fan, because we really didn't know what the heck this team was.
And the one thing that works with us, if you will, is that the Blue Jays are the only Canadian baseball team.
And same with the Raptors.
They're the only
basketball team, right.
And obviously the Leafs are different because we have many Canadian teams. But I feel like...
die-hard fan base, I think it's the Raptors. The Leafs right now. But as for the Raptors have never had a sustainable franchise that you can be a playoff contending team every single year as they are now. So I think the big key for them is once this team is done, once this Raptor team has, you got to go through the rebuild stage again.
That's going to be the test.
Where's the fan base? Are they still around? Or do they all dwindle away?
Like the Leafs
That's going to show us what this Raptor franchise fan base really is.
Because with the Leafs, right, when we were on the rebuild, 3 years ago with P.A. Parenteau, Eric Brewer, all that, we were selling out games still. Because we are hockey city.
Yeah.
Right? So
like Mike Babcock always said, got to put the Canada's team back on the map.
And we are Canada's team, in my opinion. It's a toss-up between us and the Habs, but I feel like we are. So the Raptors, obviously, every team goes into these transition years.
Yep.
But it's going to be a test in the next maybe 5 years when we do good on a rebuild, because let's be honest with you, every team goes through these rebuilds.
Oh, of course. They'll have to at some point.
So it's going to be a test, because this is what the Jays, maybe a transition year for the Jays this year.
Yes. So, I truly believe so, because you have a few of these guys on this team that still have years of arbitration left, so you can grow with these guys. And speaking of one of those guys, we'll kind of go to one of the questions that got DM'd to us. Mo, what's up?
Can I just step in 1 second? Okay, right. So if you kind of want to get into fan bases, look at Forbes.com. And the most valuable franchise, that's a good indicator if your team is relevant.
Yeah,
right?
The New York Rangers is number one.
New York Rangers,
hockey.
Us, Blackhawks, whoever.
Well, the Blackhawks hopped on the bandwagon back when they started getting good.
Yes, but I'm just saying, if your team is in the top maybe 10 most valuable, then yes, you are a relevant team. I don't know what the Raptors are. You can look at Forbes.com.
They probably rank as like 12th or some stupid number.
But it's a transition year for the Jays, and the Raptors are going to go through one. The Leafs have just went through one. So
thank God it's over.
It's going to be interesting. But going back to Randall Grichuk, because you want to get into him
Michael DM'd me on Twitter, and he asked, why does Randall Grichuk suck? And
well, put it bluntly, but
didn't beat around the bush at all, and I don't blame him because Randall Grichuk has really not looked good this year. He's been striking out a lot. He hasn't barely have any hits. His average is, I think, like 0.50 or something. 0.69.
We traded for this guy too. He wasn't a free agent signing,
right? You didn't get rid of barely anything for him.
But Leafs management, but Jays management obviously wanted him,
right? And I understand he's a power hitter. He can hit a lot of home runs in the Rogers Center. And he like his strikeout rate was the problem, but now it's just his mental game. And like I've said before, he reminds me of a Norman Powell.
Right.
He's fighting himself too much right now. And that's the great thing about baseball. You go to the ballpark every single day to try and redeem yourself.
Right.
And you'll probably be in the lineup today against Baltimore and
because the Jays play pretty much every day.
Yeah, there's the odd days here and there. That's why they started a little bit early this season,
right?
To get in a few more off days for the players. But for Randall Grichuk, I don't know, man.
Do you think
he looks like he?
Back?
I think he can,
but you just don't know when.
But if he doesn't, Teoscar Hernandez is right there in the looms, ready to take his spot.
So maybe you should put him on the hot seat a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like we've said, but like we've said over and over and over, it's only 10 games.
And plus, I feel like every player goes through this little streak about them not playing.
And plus,
well.
he's with a new team. His first team, like his first trade. He's never been traded before. He's obviously his
Cardinals.
Right, he's been with the Cardinals his entire career, and now he gets traded to the other division or the other league and the new country, and it's just totally different when it comes to him. So I understand his transition.
Your question, Michael.
Why does he suck? He's in a transition time. It's 10 games in. Look, if he has a great week this coming week, no one's going to talk about this.
They're going to be So
why does he suck right now? Because he's fighting himself. Can he get out of it? Time will tell. All right. So again, guys, we really appreciate all your support. Link is in the description for the GoFundMe page for the Humboldt Broncos.
Very
hockey
sad.
team. It's ridiculous.
Also, Leaf Square, Jurassic Park. James, you're going to
I hope to be down there Thursday, maybe Thursday. I'm not 100% sure about that. But Saturday, I'm almost guaranteed to be down there Saturday night. 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
In Boston.
Game 1 in TD Garden.
Game 2 is Saturday night.
Game 2. Game 2 Saturday night, yes.
But it's going to be fun. And I'll
DM us if you want to come down, if you want to do a whole...
Yeah, really I'll be able to be down there. You won't be able to be down.
But I don't think you guys really can. But I'm the podcast guy, so you better recognize. But anyways...
Okay, all right. Simmer down there. But we really appreciate all your support, guys. Link in the description for the Twitter. DM us all that great stuff.
Next week's podcast is going to be on the Wednesday.
Right, Wednesday. I will not be able to do it on Tuesday or even the Monday.
So it's going to be a week and 2 days before the next podcast. But Twitter, we'll keep you guys updated. Yep. Follow us on Twitter. That's our main domain. We'll be tweeting out to you guys. Any podcast questions, guys, leave your podcast questions anytime before Wednesday.
And the link is down in the description also for the main channel if you guys have not already checked that out.
Which, I don't know even why you're here.
Well, go check that out over there. Links in the description below, guys. And we really appreciate all your support.
100%.
And we'll talk to you guys next Wednesday right in the midst of the Leafs playoffs. Hopefully Game 5. I think he said Game 5. I think it's going to be
Game 5.
Something like that. And for the Raptors, they could even be starting the playoffs already.
It's going to be exciting time.
And for the Jays, we hope to keep on rolling. I will talk to you guys tonight in the all 3 edition. Leafs preview.
Against
Raptors, Raptors, Pistons, and Jays, Orioles. It's going to be one heck of a night.
You're going to be switching up a lot of jerseys.
It's going to be it's going to be very hectic. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys for listening. And Evan and I will talk to you guys Wednesday afternoon.
Peace.